Anatimidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Shaksurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Vancha Kalpadaruryascha Kipasindho Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Ajanulam Vitavujo Kanakavadato Sankirtane Kapitalo Kamaraya Taksho Vishvambaro Dijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Kanaka Jaradagatro Nirasunabjanetro Mrigavaravararo Marati Kundamaro Tarara Taruna Vesho Nirapitam Maresho Smarani Britani Kunje Radhika Krishna Chandra Samsara Dukkha Jaradu Patitasya Kama Krodha Dina Kramakare Kavari Kritasya Durvasana Nigaditasya Nirashrayasya Chaitanya Chandra Mamade Padavarambam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I would like to offer my unlimited Dandavat pranams prostrated in the dust of the lotus feet of my spiritual masters Nityalila Pravishnu Vishnupad Shishimachara Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Nityalila Pravishnu Vishnupad Shishimachara Gaur Govinda Goswami Maharaj Nityalila Pravishnu Vishnupad Shishimachara Bhakti Vedanta Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj Nityalila Pravishnu Vishnupad Shishimachara Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj all our Rupanuga Guru Varga Vaishnavacharyas, all Vaishnav and Vaishnavis, all assembled guests. Please accept my Dandavat pranams. I offer also my Dandavat pranams to Srila Bhakti Vibhuda Budayan Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj, all my God brothers and God sisters. Thank you very much. So, subject matter of Vyasa Puja has been described very nicely by our main speakers. Now, a small speaker will speak something about maybe the same subject. I remember just a few minutes ago that during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, that Vyasa Puja was also performed. And one day, just the day prior to that festival celebration, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Srivas Pandit if he could celebrate all that festival in his Angam, Srivas Angam. So Srivas Pandit said, yes, I will. I have all paraphernalia, everything is ready. So they took an appointment for the next days, and they started to, make everything, organizing and everything. The picture of Vyasadeva was there on the Vyasasana. And Srivas Pandit was making all the arrangements. A garland flower was very nice, very fragrant, ready to be given to Vyasadeva. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a little late that day, and Srivas Pandit, he turned towards Nityananda Prabhu, and he gave the garland to Nityananda Prabhu. He said, you please offer this garland to Srila Vyasadeva. And Nityananda Prabhu was holding the garlands, but he was not doing anything. Then Srivas Pandit again, very grave, said, please, Nityananda Prabhu, offer this garland to Vyasadeva. But Nityananda Prabhu would not do it. Again, requesting again and again, but Nityananda Prabhu was not about to do it. Then time passed, Srivas Pandit became a little bit nervous, but at that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and entered. And Srivas Pandit, and he asked about, what is this celebration about going on? Then Srivas Pandit said, yes, we were about to give the garland to Vyasadeva. I gave the duty to Nityananda Prabhu to perform that celebration, but actually he didn't want to keep. So Mahaprabhu came in front of Nityananda Prabhu, and he looked at Nityananda Prabhu. He said, why you're not giving Vyasadeva the garland today? And Nityananda Prabhu looked at Mahaprabhu, and he took the garland and he put on the neck of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that will be like what I had to say tonight. Because then, also glorifications of our Guru Varga was very nicely explained by our senior devotees. Recently I heard Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj. We don't speak so much about Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj, but although he was very, very exalted, he could manifest all Shastra, all shloks like this, unlimited in any classes. And he never asked anyone after class whether his class was good or not. Sometimes we like to know, because some pratishta is maybe they are remaining a little bit, or even
uncertainty.
So we like to know whether our class is good or not. But Srila Vaman Maharaj never, ever asked anyone whether his class was good or not. Although he had millions of followers, so many disciples, thousands, hundreds, but he was so humble. Once he exclaimed or stated that actually I am with no one and no one is with me. Only I related with my Rupanuga Guru Varga. When I heard that, I was like, what? I am with no one and no one is with me. That is exactly our situation in this world. We may rely on so many circumstances, external situations and people, even devotees. But what is the reality? Can anyone help us in this world besides our Guru Parampara? No one. So to have this realization that I am alone and nobody is with me, I found it quite humble to my analysis. How can a great Acharya like Srila Vaman Maharaj could say something like this? Because always surrendered, always. Not 1 minute surrendered, not surrendered. Even he was chanting name all night, all day long. But night time, when he was taking little rest, you could see his fingers moving. Sleeping and fingers moving. That was amazing. And Guru Maharaj, this Srila Narayana Goswami Maharaj, both associating together. What a beautiful entertainment. How Gurudev was giving so much respect to him, and he, in his way, also giving so much respect to Gurudev. Whenever anyone would come and ask Srila Vaman Maharaj for initiation, he said, you ask permission first to Srila Narayana Maharaj. If he accepts, then I will give. Otherwise not. So we have to learn so many things. I heard once Srila Bodhayan Maharaj, on the day of the maybe disciplines of Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. I think was in Gopinath Gaudiya. So many speakers were there, and he spoke only the last. He said once, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj was in Martin, Calcutta, and he had to go out and do something very important. But the main person, maybe, Matt in charge, was not there in his room. So Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj felt quite disturbed. He wanted to go out, but he wouldn't go out without getting permission from that person. So he went to his room, and checking whether he was here or not, he realized he was not there. So then, instead of going out, what he did? He wrote a paper. He wrote a paper saying, I came to ask for your permissions, but because we were not there, then I leave this note onto your door to just tell you that I went out. Is it, Maharaj? Did you say that once? In a different way, maybe? Oh. So very, very humble moods. This is the mood of a devotee. Maharaj was stressing the importance of this Trinadi Pisumich. Humility means love for Krishna. Who has love, he is humble. And who is humble, he has love. So the most important quality of a Vaishnava, according to Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, is to be Krishna Sharana. You also mentioned this. Krishna Sharana, there is 26 qualities, but these other qualities may also be applied in different personalities, like Gyanis or others. They can be kind, they can be poetic. But unless one is Sharanagat, completely surrendered to the lotus feet of Krishna and his Guru Parampara, then he cannot be designated as a true Vaishnava. But then, if he is Sharanagat, if he is a true Vaishnava, then all the other 25 qualities will act like a very, very sweet addition to his Sharanagat, to his surrender. Will like very, very beautiful, like Krishnadas Kaviraj. What did he manifest? He manifested poetry. He was surrendered, but so much poetry was coming out from him. That was his qualification, quality. What Gurudeva or Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj manifest? All of his disciples are here. We can take a test. What did he manifest? What was prominent in him? Halikata. I remember that so many occasions, how sweet he was. And such a soft-hearted person also. Once a disciple, not really a disciple, because how can a disciple can act like this? He turned against him, and he insulted him. He even raised his arm. But Srila Gurudev didn't react in any ways. He didn't also rejected him. He just tolerated. He didn't say anything. Then the devotee left, and then Gurudev didn't even mention the incident. This is tolerance, humility. But when that same devotee was stealing the milk which was offered to the Thakurji, and when devotees were telling him, why you are doing such a thing? Then he became aggressive to the devotee. Then Gurudev asked him to come. He asked me also to come. if there was something going on. I was ready to jump. But he told him, I reject you. Because you have threatened devotees. And you are stealing the milk of the deities. So that devotee said, okay, I accept, I will serve you in separation. And Buddha said, no, we have no more relationship. So, like this. So, we have to see everything in the perspective of mercy. Even Vrindavan Das Thakur, he told, if you don't worship Nityananda, then I will kick you in the face. This is there. I'll kick you in the face. This is the reaction for not serving Nityananda. Then, atheist, agnostic, they're very happy to hear this. They said, see, Vaishnava is supposed to be very humble. Look how this Vrindavan Das Thakur is speaking. He's threatening. Is this the language of a Vaishnava? To threaten? To speak like this? It's not possible. Then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he comments on that. He said, here, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, he has created another way of getting Krishna's mercy. Because those who are against the Vaishnavas, for any small reason, insignificant reason, they will turn against. What will they do? They go to, oh God, why is your Vaishnava, who is supposed to be very humble, speaking in such a very rude and harsh way? Why? Then Krishna will say, you are right, come to me. I will manage everything. I will take care of you. I will give you protection from that threat, that kick. I will give you protection. When you will be with me, you will have nothing to worry about. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in this way, Vrindavan Das Thakur, he has created a new path of mercy. That even the atheists, when they complain to Krishna, Krishna will give them shelter. Therefore, Vaishnava statements is always to be taken in the most auspicious way. There is nothing which is not auspicious. Why? Because Vaishnava, they are completely filled with this Swarup Shakti, that energy, dynamic energy, which is flowing through the activities of Krishna Lila in the spiritual world. They are participants, and therefore this energy is called Ananda, and Rasa is flowing in their heart. It comes as a manifestation of Prema, unlimited happiness, and Rasa, mellowness. Rasa means also ecstasy. It comes like that. So any transactions which takes place from any devotees can only be perfect. Only be perfect. If we see some defect and we think there is much reformation there, that means we have to reform ourselves. Because everything in the Vaishnava world is perfect. So we should be aware of, be very, very careful about how we judge Vaishnavas. If a Vaishnava doesn't show sweetness and softness, and we think he's not a pure devotee, not knowing that he has surrendered completely, fully his life to the lotus feet of Krishna, then this is an offense. And if we take somebody who is soft and sweet, but not surrender, and think he is a pure devotee, then this will be also an offense to the pure devotees. Bhakti Pragyan Kishore Maharaj used to say that. So Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj used to say, Bhakti Pragyan Kishore Maharaj is the most kind of all of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur disciples. I read these statements, maybe you confirm. So, as father, as son, our Gurudev was so kind. Huh? How kind he was. Huh? One time, I was in Australia, and I was bodyguard. And Gurudev has a very nice, beautiful, round, made of bamboos place for taking rest at night. Then I was putting my sleeping bag outside in front of the door, and Gurudev came to me. He said, "Why are you sleeping outside? Why don't you sleep inside?" First time I heard it, I said, "What? Gurudev, I can sit inside?" He said, "Yes, it's better than outside." I said, "Okay." Then I put my sleeping bag inside. Then he said, "But I fear one thing. Are you speaking with your nose during the night?" Then I thought, "Whoa, when I sleep, I don't know. And when I don't sleep, I don't speak with my nose. So better not sleeping tonight." I decided not to sleep. Because, first time, you have to take it very, very careful. We are dealing with Vaishnava, we're not dealing with ordinary. So I was lying down, and I was very happy I'm in Gurudev's room. The other door was also blocked by Madam Maharaj. Well, he was also sleeping inside. Gurudev went to take rest, everything was perfect. Midnight, I was not sleeping, and all of a sudden, Madam Maharaj start to snore. Not like ordinary snoring. Loud, too loud. Gurudev woke up, came out from the bed, walked around. He went to Madam Maharaj, didn't come to me. He came directly to Madam Maharaj. Madam Maharaj was sleeping like that, like a baby, on the left side. And Gurudev took his hands, arms, and he removed it from the left side to the right side. Then he didn't wake up, but he stopped snoring. That was, Gurudev's mercy. So he went back to sleep, and then everything was okay. In the morning we did mantras together. While he was doing mantra, Rajanath was saying Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. We said, "Look, while we are chanting mantras, no noise, no sound. Mantra is not to be spoken. It is in the mind. So any sound from outside may disturb the meditation." So therefore that day which came, Gurudev was going to give Harikatha, and I saw all Australian devotees so happy. They were like a festival, everyone was jubilation, so much happy, running always everywhere, and bringing other people, "Come, Gurudev's going to speak in half an hour, this, that." And I was under the veranda in a big armchair. I was trying to chant my rounds. I was not jubilant that day. And I couldn't chant properly. I was thinking, everybody has such a nice relationship with Gurudev. I am the only one I don't have any relationship with him. I should go and speak to him about this. I had no choice. Then I stood up, I crossed, and I went to this Bhajan Kutir. Then I was looking through the window. He said, "Come, come." He knows if I come to the window, that means I have a problem. He said, "Come in, come in." Then he made me sit just in front of him. He said, "So, what? What do you want to say?" I said, "Gurudev, I just realized that everybody's so happy. I have a relationship with you. Madam Maharaj cooking, massaging, Rajanath organizing all your travelings. I don't do anything. I am completely bereft of any inspirations today. Please help me." And Gurudev looked at me in the eyes, and then he extended his left foot, and he put it on my shoulder. Then his right foot, he put it on the other side. And looked at me in the eyes, and he started massaging me. And then he said, "You see, we have such a Nice relationship. Then that made my day. I ran out. I said, last night, Madam Maharaj was speaking so much. Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya, everything he spoke. Harikatha. Yes, yes. Woke me up. So that was Gurudev's. He had so much humor also. He could do anything. When he used to speak, you would, even when he first word speaking, you would not hear anything in the room. Even if there is 2,000-3,000 people, you would not hear one thing, how you say,
Pin drop.
Pin drop. And with the little words, he could fascinate all audience. It was so sweet, so sweet. There's nothing that he wouldn't say to save his followers, to save his disciples. Nothing he wouldn't say. He would say everything. One time he said, it may take more than one life to go back to spiritual world. I said, what? What? More than one life? Already it's so difficult to come to Krishna consciousness as a Western person. Now you're saying it's more than one life? I said, no. One life is okay. Don't worry. For you, one life. Then I kept following him. So sweet, so nice. When he used to leave after Harikatha 1 week, everybody was crying. Everybody was crying. And I saw that he was speaking to devotees in the room prior to his departure. And he was speaking very, very nice stories. And everybody was laughing. So much humor he had. But at the same time, everybody was crying. I couldn't believe it. Everybody crying and laughing at the same time. Amazing. All the complete opposite reconciled by Gurudevs. Then he stood up, he went to the bathroom. I was sitting just at the corner of the bathroom, and he told me, looking at me, said, "You are not crying?" I was going with him, Then he touched my head, and he went into the bathroom. When he came out from the bathroom, I was crying like a small girl. Crying is the mercy of Gurudev, One time, there was one sadhu who came to visit Gorgovine Maharaj. His name was Bhakti Charan Babaji Maharaj. He was a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We never heard about him, but that day he came. And I was next sitting to Jayantakrit, it is the Sudabeti Maharaj, we are always friends, even now. So I was sitting next to him, and because there's different ideas about this. Chalo. So I looked at him and he was like, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. I said, what happened to you? He said, look, this sadhu just came in the courtyard. I looked and I saw this Charan Babaji Maharaj coming. We didn't know him. He was very thin, maybe a little bit unhealthy. He was walking very slowly. He was announced, and then Gorgovina Maharaj came out from his hut, nice, and he took him in his arms and he said, please, you come inside. Actually, this Babaji came to give blessings to Gorgovina Maharaj just prior to the GBC meetings in Mayapur. So, Jayantakrit, he tried to follow him in the little hut, but Gorgovina Maharaj said, no, you stay outside. Close the door, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, then came out. But Babaji went to the staircase of the temple, because there were staircases, he couldn't climb. So he slowly went down and touched the ground, praying to the deities for mercy. Then came back to us, and we were like, lined up, 5 or 6. Jayantakrit, another devotee, was in the 3rd position, and more others after. Then he came in front of Jayantakrit, and he looked at him, and he said, do you speak Oriya? In language, Oriyan language. And Jayantakrit, he said in Oriyan language, I don't speak. Like if I ask you, do you speak French? he will say, un tout petit peu, pas beaucoup. So that was his answer. But when I looked at this sadhu, I saw that he was not in the same world. His eyes was like a little bit around eyes, like blackish, and from another world. The words were coming from another world and coming into our side, in our ears. Then he opened his arms, and Jantakrit, he, embraced left and right. As he came out from the embrace, he was crying and crying and crying. I looked at him, I said, wow, he's crying like Ganges and Yamuna at the same time. Then he turned and he embraced the second devotee. Same thing happened, crying and crying. Then I thought, wow, I am in the third position. What's going to happen to me? Then he turned to me, opened his arms, and let's go. I touched his left side. He was so skinny, I could feel his ribs, and I started to suffer. Then I went to the right side, and I was crying. I couldn't stop. Amazing how it happened, how what's produced. Very, very mysterious. Then he went to the next and the next. And then some pictures was taken from somebody. Governor said, don't disturb him. You will disturb his bhajan, don't follow him. Then he disappeared. Few days after, we told the stories to some of our friends we met on the way to Mayapur. And as we were telling the stories, the remembrance of what had happened came back, and we were like also again crying. And Jayantaki was shaking. Amazing, this power of that Vaishnavas can be experienced again and again and again. Later on, I also, when I was telling this, felt like crying again. Then Jayantaki went to Govardhan Maharaj, who came out to take this Vaishnava back to the gate. Vaishnava took Govardhan Maharaj, and Govardhan Maharaj put his head on his chest, and he put his hand on his head, and he caressed him like this. And then he took his shin, and he looked it in the eyes, and he gave the mercy. Then he left. Then Jayantaki came to Govardhan Maharaj and asked him, is he one of your Shiksha Guru that sometimes you speak about when you give lectures? Govardhan Maharaj, yes, he's one of my Shiksha Guru. He taught me Rasa Tattva. He's always in bhav, he never comes down. Therefore he doesn't preach. His way of giving mercy, like he gave to you, like this embracing. That's it. So this is the way that Gurudev also, when I came to him, he told me, Diksha Guru, we worship like this, and Shiksha Guru, we worship like this. So every time Gurudev would come, he would embrace us. He's so kind, you know. So we have no excuse to hesitate, because I spoke about Gurudev's moods, but his legacy, his teachings. If we follow this, how long will it take? How many lifetimes? Do we have any time to do anything else? No, never. If we want to go into his teachings, Rupanuga teachings, following in the moods of Rupa Goswami, then there is no time where we have anything to do anything else to do. We could spend millions and millions of years to understand how deep those teachings were. And Srila Bhakti Pramod Purnima used to say, when the Gurudev leaves this world, our first service is to follow his instructions. So we have to study all these things. Then we become very, very fortunate, successful, and Gurudev will be very, very happy if we do this. Now he is saying, he's checking whether we are going to do it or not. I think myself. When we go into this, then he is still there, inspiring us to understand those things. So I will stop this time now because late, and maybe some other devotee want to speak. Okay. So thank